In today's video, we're going to be comparing the $500 Pixel 8a against the $400 Moto G Stylus 5G. Which one is better? Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. I've had a ton of people ask me to compare these phones, and obviously there is a price gap in between these. There is going to be a $100 difference. As I said before, of course, the Pixel 8a retails for $499 and the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024 retails for $399. Starting off with the body of these devices, they are very different. First and foremost, the Pixel 8a is actually going to have the more premium build. This isn't to say that it is a better build. Obviously, a bunch of people are going to have different opinions, but this is quite possibly the nicer build just because it has more premium materials. We have an aluminum frame all around this device, and we have a frosted plastic back right here. It honestly does feel really premium and really nice in the hand, and I absolutely love this aloe color as well. Again, this isn't the biggest phone in the world. However, it does feel super substantial and super nice in your hand. 6.1 inches definitely feels like a nice pocketable device. Going over to the Moto G Stylus, we do have a much bigger device at 6.7 inches, and that is going to give us a bigger display as well. We are actually going to have a much better screen to body ratio at 88.2% compared to the Pixel 8a's 81.6%. And of course, the back of this device is going to be this kind of eco leather, and I think it looks good. Honestly, the red looks good. This like vanilla looking color looks really good as well, or caramel latte. Overall, a lot of people really do like the leather, and I feel like it's super grippy as well. It doesn't feel the most premium, however, I'd give that to the Pixel 8a. I feel like this feels a bit more premium, but I think the design language on this device is definitely much more original. But obviously, this is going to be a very subjective part of the video. I think the biggest pro that the Moto G Stylus has over the Pixel 8a is it has a much bigger display. So obviously, watching videos and TV shows and stuff like that is going to be a better experience seemingly. Now, as for the displays, the Pixel 8a has an OLED display and the Moto G Stylus has a POLED display. They both have a 120 Hz refresh rate. They both are 1080p. However, the PPI is going to be better on the Pixel 8a at 430 PPI compared to 395 PPI on the Moto G Stylus. We also have a 2000 nits peak brightness on the Pixel 8a and only a 1200 nit peak brightness on the Moto G Stylus 5G right here, which honestly isn't too bad. You can definitely see the display in direct sunlight. I think they both look really great overall. The other thing that the Pixel 8a has as well is our Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection and our always on display that are not on the Moto G Stylus. Next, moving to the platform of these devices, starting off with the software. Both these devices are actually launched with Android 14, so they have the latest software of Android on these devices. Now, there is going to be a big difference in software update policy, and I'm sure you guys already know about this, but the Moto G Stylus 5G is not going to be going past Android 15. So we're going to have 1 year of operating system updates, and I believe 2 years of security patches that are going to be bi-monthly. So that is all we're going to get with the Moto G Stylus 5G. Going over to the Pixel 8a, for $100 more, you guys are actually going to be getting 7 years of operating system updates. So you're seemingly going to be going to Android 21 from Android 14, which is honestly really crazy, and it's nice to see that we have that future-proofness inside of the Pixel 8a. I know that's not a word, but yeah, definitely going to be updated for years to come. Next, moving on to the internals, the Moto G Stylus 5G has a whopping 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the Pixel 8a actually has only 128 gigabytes of internal storage, so about half the Moto G Stylus, and 8 gigabytes of RAM as well. And as far as the chipset goes as well, they are very similar chipsets in these devices. However, the winner is still going to be the Pixel 8a with the Tensor G3. It is a little bit better than the Snapdragon Gen 1, but the key differences for the Tensor G3 is going to be it supports a 25% higher memory bandwidth. It was announced almost 2 years later than the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, so it's a much newer processor. It does have one more core, and it has a higher GPU frequency as well. But all in all, I don't feel like the majority of people are even going to notice too much of a difference. Moving on to the cameras of these devices, first and foremost with the Pixel 8a, this actually has a dual camera setup, the same as the Moto G Stylus, which is crazy in 2024 with all these quad camera setups. But of course, we have a 64 megapixel main shooter that's going to be our wide camera, and of course our ultra wide 13 megapixel secondary camera right here. This is also going to give you dual LED flash. We're going to have pixel shift, Ultra HDR. We can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second or 1080p at 240 frames per second. As for our selfie camera, we have a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera capable of auto HDR and panorama, and we can shoot video at 4K at 30 frames per second. Going over to the Moto G Stylus 5G right here, of course the same dual camera setup right here. We have a 50 megapixel shooter instead of a 64 megapixel shooter. That's going to be our wide camera as well. Our secondary is going to be a 13 megapixel ultra wide. We are capable of LED flash, HDR, and panorama on this device as well. And we can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second on the front and the rear camera as well. And speaking of the selfie camera, this device is going to have a 32 megapixel wide angle camera. And as I said before, we can shoot at 4K 30 frames per second. So great to see that on here. As far as like our overall point in shooting with both of these cameras, the video is going to be much better on the Pixel 8a and the photos are going to be much better on the Pixel 8a. So the Moto G Stylus is not even going to keep up with the Pixel 8a. This is just what the Pixel 8a does. However, if you don't care too much about the camera, then I don't think you guys are going to have an issue with the Moto G Stylus. For the majority of people, it's definitely acceptable. Both these devices have stereo speakers. Both these devices have NFC as well. The Moto G Stylus has a little bit of a bigger battery, which is a 5,000 milliamp battery inside of this compared to a 4,500 milliamp battery in the Pixel 8a. So we're kind of beating them out right there. However, this does have a bigger display, so there's that. Now, as far as our charging rates, this is where the Moto G Stylus actually shines. We have a 30 watt wired charge on this device, and we actually have a 15 watt wireless charge on this device as well, compared to the Pixel 8a's 18 watt wired charge and 7.5 watt wireless charging. So the charging rate is much better on the Moto G Stylus 5G. This was something that really surprised me as well. Shout out to Motorola for having those high charging rates. And of course, the last feature is we have a stylus inside of the Moto G Stylus 5G. And we do not have a stylus on the Pixel 8a, but not everybody wants a stylus. And this brings us to the conclusion of our video right here. If you guys aren't trying to spend $1,200 and you're looking for a very decent camera, a decent update policy on the software, and some decent performance, then look no further. I would go with the Pixel 8a right here. Now, if you guys don't care about any of those, you guys don't care about having the greatest update policy in the world, if you guys don't care about having the best camera in the world, and all you really want is a stylus, and you actually may be a Motorola fan as well, and you like Moto actions and things of that nature, I would go with the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024 edition. This is definitely a decent phone, a super popular phone this year actually. However, I don't think it is a better buy than the Pixel 8a still. For the right person, I think it is, but I feel like the Pixel 8a still beats out the Moto G Stylus 5G. And the reason being is going to be the update policy. This is going to be a device you can use for the next 7 years, and we're going to have a very solid camera on this device for the next 7 years as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Obviously, we all have our own opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Also, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified every time I upload a new video. This has been Safan from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.